Hello everyone and welcome to From the Heart Friday, session 48 with me, Jessica Brigden of Jess B Creative Cardiology. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's a Friday, that's a good thing, right? So today I just thought, okay, we're so close to the new catalog. I'm just gonna play with new stuff. So seeing as how the warmer temperatures are here and I'm feeling like summer, I thought I would pull out the gorgeous new Flowers for Every Season paper pack and the jar of flowers with the little canning jar bundle here. Hey Mary, how are you? Whew, it's sticky today here in New York, very humid. So yeah, I've got a couple. Hey Luann, hey Kim. All right, so we're gonna be playing with some new stuff because that's just fun. Bright springy colors. I'm calling today's cards Roses and Tulips. We're gonna do some coloring with our Stampin' Blends markers, and I thought we might even incorporate a little bit of vellum today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Yes, we're playing with the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper and the jar, what is it called? Jar of Flowers bundle there. And we might even decorate with some of these new, what are these called? Flowers for Every Season gems. They're like little shaker gems here in like fun little green and white iridescent colors. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera. While I'm doing that, make sure you leave me some comments, give me thumbs up, and if you are watching the replay on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. We have a growing number of subscribers, which is super exciting. I love checking out every day or multiple times in the day and seeing how we are doing. So just before this video, I was at 1,031 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. And I think pretty soon I should have the required amount of hours and minutes there to be able to do my little lives on Tuesdays as well. So here are all our fun new products. All right, so we are gonna start, with this bright new color, Magenta Madness. I have to say, I think it's my favorite. I don't know, I'm a green, like a blue-green girl, so the Just Jade is really, it's right up there, but this pink is just like so borderline fluorescent that you gotta love it. So it's 5.5 by 8.5, just our standard card base here, which we're going to fold in half there at the 4 1/4 mark. Alrighty. And then yes, I am gonna pull in some Just Jade. It's a perfect complementary color to it. So this is at 4 by 5 1/4 here. So just 1/4 inch smaller. And I thought we're gonna play with some patterns. So playing with patterns, a little bit of, I don't know if you wanna call this paper piecing or not, but what I've done is I have taken, because these patterns are 6 by 6. Hey Rachel, how are you? Yes, so these are 6 by 6 sheets. So I thought, oh, let's play with these gorgeous magenta roses with the Just Jade in here, and then the back side has these pretty little this pretty little green leafy print. Hey Diana, hey. So with this one pattern, I've cut strips of one inch strips here, and then I cut those 1 inch strips into smaller strips. So the longer ones here, so these are 1 inch by 3 3/4. And I'm going to glue these down about 1/4 inch in here, and yeah, I'm gonna glue this down. You can kind of, maybe you can anticipate how it's going to come together. So make sure these strips come in about 1/4 inch from the side and the top. All right, so we're about even there. Okay, so those are 1 by 3 3/4. Now the back side of that, like I said, is, hey Margaret, is these little green leafy prints. Okay, so I cut these. These are also 1 inch, but these are 2.5 inches long. So we're going to kind of make a little border here. And this time we're gonna come in, yes, from the bottom and the sides, but then kind of space it evenly between these next two. So we're making like a little frame here. So like I said, 1 by 2.5. Okay. There we go. So I could have made them a little bit longer, but I like easy measurements. So I like things in quarters. I don't like messing with 8ths and 16ths. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I'm good with measurements, but they're a pain to cut. So for ease, the longer pieces, like I said, are 1 by 3 3/4, and the shorter ones are 1 by 2.5. We're just dealing with pretty much, yeah, easy numbers. All right, so that means our little panel here in the middle. Okay, so I've got it, so at least the top and the bottom, it matches right in there. So this piece is 1.5 by 2.5. Like I said, easy numbers, 1.5 by 2.5. So we're gonna glue this down in the center, and you might be like, what? You haven't done any stamping yet. So what's up with that? And you're right, so we've just kind of made, it almost looks like a quilt to start with. But this is where it gets fun. So I'm gonna bring in some vellum because we are going to now move on. We're gonna make some jars. But what? So we are going to do, I'm going to, let me grab my, let me see, do I have my, all right, can't figure out where my Pierce mat is. But because we're doing vellum, I'm going to use the Stays On. Stays On is a solvent. It can go on pretty much any surface. You can stamp on paper, you can stamp on glass, shiny surfaces, wood, anything like that. So Stays On is a pretty versatile ink. And we are doing that. We're gonna stamp the little jar here. So with this, it is a linen pad. So you gotta kind of mush it, make sure you've got full ink coverage. And then I'm just going to stamp it. Well, I'm using my scraps here, so let's do this. Let's come in from, so you wanna stamp on an edge because that way the punch can slip up in there. Hey, Angela. All right, so you notice I'm stamping on vellum. Sorry if it's not here in the full window. All right, so I'm using Stays On ink, which is a solvent, so that way it doesn't wipe off of the vellum. All right, and I'm going to slowly pull it up. Okay, good, we've got a nice stamped image there. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp 2 of these because we are making 2 cards. So we'll do one, just space them out a little bit here. All right, and I'm gonna hold it just a second because I do wanna make sure that the ink transfers, and then just slowly peel it up. All right, that looks good. Okay, so Stays On and photopolymer stamps aren't always the best of friends. So you do want to make sure that you clean your stamps immediately because that solvent ink can do number on your photopolymer. So we're gonna just clean that really quick, make sure it's not sitting there. It will stain a little bit, but that's where my other trick for you comes in, is the stamp cleaning pad. Honestly, it's awesome. It's a must-have. It really does help cleaning with the photopolymer stamps. And for some reason or another, Stampin' Up! Has decided they will not be carrying it in the new catalog. So let me tell you, it is, let's see, where did they put it? Okay, so in the retiring catalog, this is the current annual catalog. It's on page 182. Here in the middle, it's called the Stamp Cleaning Pad and Refill. And it is specifically designed for removing ink from photopolymer stamps. And it's on sale. It's normally $7.50. The refill is $3.75. You can get it now. The pad is just $3. And just before this video, I did check to make sure they were actually still in stock, and they are. So if that's the case, so it looks almost like Versamark. When it comes, it's this pristine kind of vanilla color, but you just kind of wipe it around your stamp. So you can see how it's actually removing. Ooh, yeah, see how it's doing that? Can you use the chamois? You can clean with the chamois, but it will not take the stays on. It will not take that black ink stain off your stamp. So I just cleaned with this stamp cleaning pad. So I kind of pre-cleaned. So you could pre-clean with your chamois, then rub the stamp cleaning pad over it, and then go back to your chamois or your Stampin' Scrub here and clean again. And you see how nice, did you see that before? It was black. And now it looks pretty good. It's gonna be a little pink, but it's good. So this is item number, let me see. Okay, so this is item number 147047. It's retiring, it's $3. It is definitely worth grabbing a pack. You know, you might as well just grab two because they're less than the price of one originally. So yeah, grab those. Grab some extra snail refills if you want, because Stampin' Up! Is switching over their adhesives. And if you have some snail hair dispensers that you'd like, then yeah, go ahead and grab some refills. Hey, Carol. Okay, so I stamped my jars on the vellum here. All right, kind of come in with my punch and punch those out. Okay. All right, here we go. The stamp's a little close to the edge there on the bottom. Yeah, Margaret says she wishes she had bought extras as gifts. That's a great idea. Yeah, I might have to do that too. Okay, so here's the other thing with jar of flowers is I'm gonna be using the roses and the tulips, but I don't just want them sitting on top of the jars empty. So we're gonna use the stems, but I want green stems. So I'm gonna flip these over. Okay, maybe I'll put something, let me put something underneath it here so you can see that a little better. So I stamped on one side, I flipped them over. Now I'm gonna use my stems, and I'm gonna use Memento this time. And you're like, what? Okay, yes, I am using all kinds of inks here. So we used Stays On the vellum first. The reason I'm using Memento on the back side here is because I'm then going to color with my blends, okay? And the blends are an alcohol based, and you want to do opposite inks. So the blends would be similar to the Stays On, okay? And that's what I really want to see as the green stems. So on the back side here in the jars, I'm going to just right up at the top. All right, I'm gonna stamp these in here. Okay, so that came out good, but I don't want my, I'm gonna just kind of wait a second while it sort of dries a little bit, and then I'm gonna carefully come in with my blends to do the stems. Okay, and you see the difference between the Memento. The Memento is a water-based ink, and it cleaned right off. Whereas the Stays On, because it's a solvent and is designed to stick to every surface, that is why we really needed the stamp cleaning pad, okay? All right, so we've got our jars, we've got our stems. Now, let's see, I'm gonna pull in, well, this is Call Me Clover. Do I want dark? Let me see. I don't know if I quite want that. I'm gonna come in. All right, I think I'm going to use the Bermuda Bay. And the reason for that is the Bermuda Bay is a little bit, it's almost like a few shades darker than the jade. And I am gonna go darker than I usually would. So I'm gonna go with the dark one here with my bold tip, because I just want to color in those stems. And when I flip this over, I want to be able to see it. So I'm going to go in a little bit darker than I would if I was actually coloring it on some Whisper White. Okay, and the reason for using the Memento with the blends markers is because you don't want the black to run in here with your stems. Okay, so you always use opposite inks, and that way you don't have to worry about the ink smearing, okay? And I am gonna be careful because you can kind of see it's still, the Memento is still a little bit juicy on there, so just be sure to kind of color in the lines. And that way you don't accidentally smear some of that Memento that's not quite dry yet. You don't really want to heat set on vellum unless you're doing a specific technique, because vellum, well, vellum, it's kind of like a plastic, and if you heat set it, it's gonna curl and it's gonna melt. So, all right, so we're just do the best we can here. Okay, come in and do a little bit extra, and that way. Okay, so then when I bring in my card, and let's see, I'm gonna just put a little adhesive right here behind the stems because that way it's kind of hidden. And we're gonna put our jar right, let's see here. I think I wanna move it down just a little bit because I need to make sure that I have room for my stamps. Okay, so with this one, we're gonna do the roses here. Okay, so again, I'm pulling out the Memento, opposite inks. And this is a big stamp, actually. It's much bigger than I anticipated. So I'm actually using the E block here, that's a big one. Okay, make sure it's all good. And it looks like I'm missing a little bit there in the center. So with photopolymer stamps, especially when they're brand new, sometimes they've got like a little bit of coating on them left over from production. So it's good to perhaps rub it on your jeans, clean it, do something a little bit first just to make sure that you get that film off and you get a good stamped image. Okay. All right, so clean that. That looks great. Okay, top on the ink pad. Now the fun part. Now we're going to do the coloring, and I do like to color before I cut this out because that way it is a little bit easier. So we're going to go from the colors that we have here, and Stampin' Up will be coming out with a Magenta Madness, Just Jade, a new in color blends. Obviously I don't have those yet. They won't be available until June 3rd. So I'm gonna come in with some, I'm torn whether, let's experiment. So I'm gonna try the Flirty Flamingo, the light color first. All right, let's just see what that looks like and compare it to the light Lovely lipstick. I actually think I like the Lovely lipstick better. It is a little bit darker, but I'm just gonna do some all over coloring. All right, we're gonna just do all 3 roses while we're at it. And I'm not too worried about white space because I am going to come in with the dark color. So we'll get all these little bulbs here. So we'll do our pinks first. And you know, I did not check the inventory list to see if the Lovely lipstick blends were still in stock. Lovely lipstick is an in color that is retiring this year. So some of those items are going pretty quick. We've only got a couple days left of this catalog. So like I said, if there are items like that stamp pad cleaner, anything in the retiring in colors, snail adhesive, and there are still some amazing designer series papers that are on sale that are still available. Okay, so I'm outlining here with the dark just to add a little bit of definition. Okay, just each of these petals, it really doesn't take that long. I know it's some people that love to color and some people don't. Just like some people like to fussy cut and some people like me don't. But sometimes your cards require it. And it's worth it. Okay, so one more little rose here. Alrighty, pretty pretty. Now let's come in with, let's do some yellow. We'll make these little sprigs of whatever they are. I'm using the Mango Melody blends here. And then I'm going to use the dark mint macaron for these eucalyptus looking little sprigs. Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna come in, we need a little bit lighter color. I don't necessarily want to do olive. I'm gonna use the lightest of the mint macaron here. So it's pretty similar. And then we'll just highlight it some. Okay, pretty pretty. All right, now let's use our little snips, and I'm going to attempt to just cut around this. So we have a jar for the we have a punch for the jar, but there's no dies for these gorgeous florals. And each of the bouquets are all a different shape. So, and you don't always want to just stamp them flat. I want to pop them up with dimensionals here. So I'm not gonna get into the like nitty gritty crevices. I'm just gonna go around, kind of do the best I can here. All right, make sure you move your paper, not really your scissors. Okay. And come around our little flowers. All right, that's not too bad. We're almost done. I suppose if you had one of those scan and cut things that you could perhaps program it, but I don't know about you guys, but by the time I programmed a computer to cut it out, I could fussy cut it just in an equal amount of time. So okay. So while we're cutting, what does everybody have planned for the weekend? Temperatures are supposed to be a little bit cooler. We've had some crazy extremes, and I don't know about you guys, but it's like messing with my sinuses. I've had a headache all day, and I'm pretty sure it's because we went from snow a couple weeks ago to record-breaking 90 here a couple days ago, and it's been in the upper 80s. Today it's down in the 70s, but it's mega humid, and we're supposed to be having some storms, I think, moving through, and then it's gonna be down in like the 50s and 60s. Craziness. All right, so we got those bunch. I've got a new package of dimensionals. Carol's having some sinus issues too. Yeah, no fun at all. But it looks like once these storms move through, that maybe that pressure system moves on. We'll have a little bit cooler weather, but maybe that'll give our sinuses a break for a little bit. Plus, it's like everything is starting to bloom. So the lilacs are in bloom. I just noticed my irises bloomed. My first irises bloomed today. My peonies are about ready to pop. The ants are everywhere. So there is a ton of pollen in the air. So what do you guys think? I think that's kind of cool, right? And the vellum there helps you see the stems through it. So it gives you that see-through base. Margaret's allergies have been going nuts too. Yeah, absolutely. I've been sneezing, all kinds of stuff. All right, so those are my roses. Now let me show you the tulips. So it's gonna be a similar concept here, but I'm gonna start with some bumblebee. So we're working on all of our new 2020 to 2022 in colors. So again, this is a 5.5 by 8.5. This time I'm going to pair it with some Misty Moonlight. Don't you just love these Stampin' Up names? Like, they're just always so fun to stay. Okay, so Misty Moonlight here in 4 by 5.25. And again, this time I'm using the tulip pattern. So this is what's left of my sheet here. So this particular pattern has this cool little like Just Jade speckles on the back. So again, 6 by 6, so I cut some 1-inch strips. And so we've got 1 by 3 3/4. So we're gonna put these down. Let's do some opposites. Let's go like this. So the first one, we did that. Let's go with opposite corners on this one. Okay. Alrighty. So again, coming in about 1/4 inch from the top and the side. That one's a little crooked. There we go. That's pretty straight. Margaret has to go to the post office, so she'll watch those later. Ooh, Margaret, are you mailing your swaps for the team? Can't wait. I've got a couple girls sent their swaps in today. All right, so these next pieces are 1 by 2.5 with the Just Jade speckles. So much fun. Everybody's playing with their demo pre-order. Just exciting. I have to figure out, so every month for our team, especially now that we're not able to actually get together, and it works out good because, you know, Margaret's on the East Coast. I'm up here in New York. We've got people in Florida and all over the state and country here. So we've been doing our team meetings virtually, and those who choose to participate in the swap and who want the make and takes, I send a fun little bundle of new product each month. And last month I sent some of the Forever Greenery product. This month, or for June, I have to figure out what I'm gonna send. I gotta get that decided because I have to send those packets out next week. All right, so this is 1.5 by 2.5. Okay, I'll just glue this down here in the center. All right, so I glued that flat. I don't know, let me try popping it up with dimensionals this time because I just feel like it needs to come up a little bit, and yeah, you can't really see them behind the stamping and the coloring. So what I did, I just put them here where the stems are. And I'm gonna come down just a little bit. So make sure we've got some room there for our flowers on the top. And where's my piece of scrap here? So we are using the tulips this time. this does flit. This is flits on the D block. Okay, and we're using the Memento opposite inks. I'm gonna just keep saying that, and then eventually it will stick, right? People call me all the time in the middle of their stamping, and they're like, what ink am I supposed to use? Which is fine. That's why if I'm your demo, that's what I'm here for, right? Is to help you with your stamping. Gorgeous image there. Yeah, so never be afraid to text me. And if you do have questions about Stampin' Up, if you'd like to place an order and you're not really sure what this whole hostess code thing is all about, I've had a couple people tell me that they've tried to read the pieces there at the bottom of my my placemat here. So for those of you, if you need to, if you're interested, if you need a demonstrator, would like to place some orders, perhaps join my team of creative cardiologists, feel free to call or text me. It's 607-227-9381. If you call, please leave me a voicemail. I do get a lot of spammer calls, so I do tend to, not answer if it's not a number that's already programmed in my phone. So if you do have questions, if you would like to get a hold of me, yes, just make sure you leave me a voicemail, and that way I will get back to you. That way I'll listen, and then I can program you in my phone, and then no worries, I'll always be there to to call you back at least. Okay, so with the tulips here, we've got some, I'm gonna use some mango here for the bumblebee. We're pulling in, there's a little bit of a red that's actually Poppy Parade that is in here. And again, I'm gonna use my lovely lipstick. And because I don't have the Misty Moonlight yet, I'm actually gonna go a shade lighter and do the Seaside Spray. Okay, that should work for us pretty good here. So let's do some, all right, I'm gonna use some of this the Mango Melody here. In place of Bumblebee, we're gonna just do some little color in these little sprigs, kind of randomly here and there. All right, yeah, I guess that's, I'll let's make it easy. We'll do all these little spriggy looking things in the mango. Okay, and they're so tiny, I'm not really gonna go in with light and dark on that. Okay, so that's the mango. Then we're going to pull in, let's do, okay, let's use the lovely lipstick on these, kind of like on the open flowers here. So we'll do a couple of these. All right, I guess, I don't know what that is, but we'll color it that way. I will do a little bit of dark on here. Just to make it stand out a little bit. Okay. So who's coloring with me? Anybody working on a project while they're watching? All right, and then let's come in with the Seaside Spray here. Let's do some little blue, what do we call those? Maybe they're like little cornflowers or something. All right, I am gonna do a little bit dark. Okay, then let's see. Let's do some green. I'm just gonna use the dark mint macaron here. I think that might be easiest. Sometimes it's almost a little overwhelming, right? When you've got too much, and you're like, what's a stem? What's a leaf? Okay. So just fill in some of that white space. Okay, so we need, let's do some poppy flowers, some tulips here. So I'm gonna use the lightest color first. So let's go in with these. Kind of looks like a poppy. Let's do a big one too. I kind of like that contrast. I wasn't sure I like the pink with the red, but it's actually kind of cool. Carol is working on a card using her new Timeless Tulips. Ooh, beautiful set. Aw, Rachel, thank you. I'm glad you like the cards here. Hey, Nancy. Better late than never. Hey, Aunt Jill. All right. We got all kinds of people watching. This is awesome. All right, let's do some blue. I don't know about you guys. I haven't really seen blue tulips, but we'll see. I'm going to use the darker. Let's do the darker color on here. So again, this is Seaside Spray that I'm using. All right, let's do that. We'll do kind of things in threes. Let's do this one. And then maybe we'll come in. Oh, I forgot the yellow. We need, so let me know. Should I do the last tulip? Do I make it yellow or do I make it pink? Okay, you guys tell me if it should be, the last one should be yellow or pink. So that's what I love about Designer Series paper is it makes crafting so easy. I take all of the colors. Stampin' Up does this awesome thing where they list the colors right there on the paper pack, so you don't even have to guess. And all of our stamps, our ink, our papers, and our cardstocks, everything matches just so perfectly. All right, we have a vote for pink. So we're voting on the color of this last tulip, whether I should make it pink or yellow. Hey, Alice, how you doing? Okay, so Rachel is voting for pink. What does everybody else think? All right, I'm gonna go ahead here. So I'm gonna go with the lighter color first on this one. Okay, and then go over with my dark. Absolutely love the blends. They're so easy to work with. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I like the way that's turning out. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to quickly cut this out here. Again, I'm not going right down into all the little itty bitties. I'm just kind of going right around it. And everybody's a little different. Some people like to get really super close. Some people like a little border. But that's what I love is stamping it's a creative outlet. It's perfect for whatever you need it to be. And there's no right or wrong way. You can do it any way you like. The only thing you do have to be careful of is when you are stamping and coloring that you use opposite inks. So you can use this as a video as a reference as to when you use the stays on, right? So you use, because stays on is a solvent. Oh, Alice voted for yellow. Ah, you got it in there just a little late. So I'll have to make another one and experiment with the yellow there. Yeah, so when you're using stays on is a solvent, and that is used for stamping on surfaces that you don't want your ink to run off of. So it's great for stamping on vellum. And stays on is great for watercoloring. When you're using a water-based ink or watercolor pencils, anything like that. Okay, I'm gonna just trim this here because I don't want that little bit of white sticking out. All right. Okay, and then your Memento is a water-based black. It's a dye ink, and that is for use when you're going to be coloring with alcohol markers such as the Stampin' Blends. Okay. All right, so let's put some dimensionals on here. Let's see, I'll put one at the base, up here in this corner, and wherever I can get it off me. I'll stick it there in the middle. Alrighty. And hopefully I left enough room. We might have to, whoops. All right, I'm gonna have to relocate this vellum piece a little bit because I did not quite leave room enough. So thank goodness for that. The dimensionals you just kind of rub it with your finger and they'll roll right off. Hey Mom, hey Gladys. All right, so I'm relocating my vellum jar here because I did not have room. So let's do, so just rub your finger over that. If you do have one of those little adhesive remover squares, that works too, but yeah, use your finger and it just kind of peels up. And we're gonna be covering that up anyway, so it's okay. Just grab a couple more dimensionals and we can fix it. All right, so this time I'm gonna put my flowers on first to make sure they actually stay within the boundaries of my card. All right, so I'm gonna go there and then peel the wax off the back of my dimensionals here. And we're gonna slide, just gonna slide. So this one, I slipped the jar under the flowers. What do you think? Do I want it under like that? I almost think it's almost too straight. This, I think I'm gonna go over on this one. Here we go. Make sure it's kind of centered on there. Yeah. So this one, the jar, we snailed it down flat, and then we put our flowers on with dimensionals kind of over the top because roses do kind of tend to spill out over the top. But this one, our stems on our tulips, we'll just say they're a little sturdier here, and I thought the way that came out, they're just a little too flat across the bottom. So this time we use the jar, we also put dimensionals on here. So that's the difference between flat and dimensional. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I think it's kind of fun to do a little kind of pattern piecing, color blocking a little bit. So these are the roses and the tulips made with the jar of flowers stamp set. We used our jar punch here and the gorgeous flowers for every season designer series paper. So pretty. Yeah. So we did some, if you missed my video from a couple days ago, I used the sunflowers on there, made some bright cards. So you have to go back and watch that. But thank you guys. I appreciate your watching, appreciate your time, and want to thank you so much. Be sure to leave me comments, leave me some likes and thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel too if you haven't already done so. Be sure to share the love with your friends there and share my channel. Love all of that. So thank you guys so much. Make sure that you run over to the online store there. The link is in my comments. Also, if you were to click on the About section there of my Jess B Creative Cardiology channel, then there are the links to my online store, Facebook, yeah, Instagram, all of those ways to connect with me. If you need to email me too, all of those are on there. Yeah, Gladdy, thanks so much for going back and watching the rerun. I will upload, for those of you here with me on Facebook, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube as soon as I get done, and then you can watch it on whichever, if you wanna watch it on Facebook, if you wanna watch it on YouTube, it's everywhere, so. Thank you. I hope you enjoy some crafting here this weekend. Enjoy a little relaxing and perhaps some cooler temperatures too. All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.